Greetings everyone. Today in the photo booth I have this amazing big heavy box of Turtles Ultimates Super7 and it is Bebop, and man does this thing feel heavy. So right away he's got his awesome manhole cover with his custom head on there and his little drill, which is pretty cool. So we're gonna slip this cover off here. Oh man, he is massive. So taking a look at the box here just real quick, he's got the kind of standard colors that we would get on the bad guys, and I like the box of the bad guys more. I just think the colors look better together. That's just kind of more my style too. And then we got a nice bio for Bebop back here. The powerhouse punk enforcer for the Foot Clan. Just kind of pretty much standard for what we're gonna see with the bad guys and good guys here, kind of the standard template. But I want to rip this open and take a good look at this massive toy with all of these incredible details. Now that we have our Bebop out of his packaging, we can take a proper look at this guy. Wow, he is big and he is really well detailed. I gotta say, this is really cool. This is one of those figures from this line that I was excited to see the most. With the Turtles, we kind of know what to expect. Once we see one, we kind of know what we're going to be getting, which is nice. But also there's there's these other big, crazy designed characters within that original toy line that they can cover. So it's really cool to see this new updated version of Bebop, and he is very impressive, I've got to say. This is really cool to see. So just taking a quick look at him all around, the detail on this one alone, it might be one of the most well done figures just of this line so far, but just in series 2, all the well done kind of sculpting on the vest here, the pants with all the stitching, the bottoms of his shoes. Just his shoes alone have some really cool detail. The chains, the bracelet, the kind of turtle shoulder pads that he's got here with like the dangling turtle bones off of there. That's really cool. His face has an incredible amount of detail with the rings, the teeth. He's even got like a lip ring there. The glasses, the hair, even the hair. The painting on all this as well is really interesting. Lots of shading, looks like some washes. I also like his leg brace here, which even has its own little hinge. So when you bend at the knee here, the brace kind of moves with it, that's just really cool. That's just an awesome thing to see. Even got an articulated little tail there. Awesome detail on the back. His little buttons and everything. He's got some fun pins. Got the skull necklace. Well done sculpting and really well done painting. Just this very impressive figure. This might be the home run of series 2 for sure. Kind of getting into his articulation a little bit. Kind of what you'd expect to see from something like this in this line, kind of taking everything that we've seen so far. But with these bigger figures, I kind of expected some hindrance, but not too bad. So we've got the forward and up and down of the shoulder there. No bicep, but at the elbow here we have a bend, and it also has a swivel peg, so that's nice. Same thing with the wrist. We got up and down, and we got the swivel action. In the leg, he does have where it connects at the pelvis here. We got some tilt, which is nice. Rocker joints on the feet. That's just kind of like a must now with action figures for posing and stances and stuff like that, especially with something as big as this guy. He's got a torso, no ball joint torso, which is whatever. I'm fine with it. I think that just the way that he's sculpted, he has his stance enough. So a lot of these figures, like the foot soldier, they're going to be kind of sculpted in the way that not quite in the way that the original was, but like so you can kind of mimic or mock that original kind of stance. And so for Bebop, I think that's kind of what they were going for here. And going into his neck here, full ball joint, which is nice. You get a full range looking around, which is nice. Full range of motion there. Almost looks directly up. I mean, pretty much. He's got a pretty good range of motion here, and he holds his accessories pretty well. So let's get into that. Let's get into ones that he's holding. So he's got his dagger. This is the painted version. Really, really well done. I like that subtle paint, black on the wrap, and then this like gunmetal kind of paint on the blade there, which is nice. Then he's got his drill gun. So the sculpt is really nice. Very, very invoking of the original. I would say all the accessories so far in this line have done a pretty good job at that. But this is it me, or is this just a little too small for him? I feel like it's just a little tiny bit too small. I mean, there's ways around that, you know. There's some aftermarket custom stuff, which is really great, which I have for the NECA Toon Turtle or Toon Bebop, but you know, I might end up using it for this. Not a huge deal. To other people, might be a deal breaker. So just thought I'd bring it up. Okay, so taking a look at some of his other accessories we got here, we have his weapons rack, and it's casted in that kind of like grayish plastic, like the original. And he's got his trash can lid on there, the gun, the drill gun, and then also his knife, which is pretty nice. Also kind of a new metal mesh thing around there, which is cool. Then we have the painted version of the lid, which is with shield lid, trash can lid, which is nice. I haven't really tried to put it in his hand. I think it'll fit, but it's going to be squeezing his hands in there is going to be kind of a tight fit. So I've kind of avoided it, but I'm also not going to really be displaying it with that. So, you know, just another heads up, just in case. We got his hands here. We got the closed fists. And so with these pegs, they're a little bit thicker, which is nice. So if you're gonna try and, let's see if I can take this off without knocking everything over. Okay, plug it in there. Then you got your solid fist, which, you know, it's nice to have options with these figures because, you know, if some of these characters might not have displaying accessories the kind of accessory that you want to display them with. So having that closed fist option is nice. And then we have our extra head. Before, when this was originally coming out, when they showed the prototypes and stuff, this was the head that it came with. There was no brown head that it came with. But then enough people commented about it to where Super7 decided that an extra head was in order. Which, see, that's a nice thing, is that they listen to the fans and that they take that kind of stuff into consideration, because that's extra money for them to kind of like develop this. Glad they did, which is pretty cool. I like the way that the pink on the original toy looks. Not quite so much on this one. That's why I have this head on. But another thing to point out is that mine has a bit of a paint mess up right on the tusk. We got a paint scrape, probably just from handling. It's not a huge deal to me because I'm not going to be using this head. But to some people that, you know, if it could have happened to this one, could happen to something else. So just another heads up. I haven't had too many instances of something like that happening, especially in this wave. Like pretty much everything has been really, like, compared to the last wave, has been ramped up in quality. So that's it for the accessories. Oh, I should probably switch out the head here. So big old ball joint in there. Pops right on and off. Maybe a little too well. It's not like gonna like fly off or anything. You can get a good look at that that pink face, pink pig. Like with the front on, with looking at it front on, just it's like a little too much pink. That's just me. And real quick, I just wanted to compare our Bebop figure to another figure within this line and another one from a different line as well. First, I wanted to look at our Ultimates Leo next to him, and he looks really great. I like the way that these two line up, and the way that they size up next to each other. The turtles are kind of the more shorter figures currently in the line. I should say that before, you know, showing just how big he is, but it is cool to see just that drastic height difference, which is pretty fun. I think a lot of the Playmates ones kind of, they did have varying sizes, but they all kind of like eventually panned out to be kind of generally the same. But it is cool to see just different heights and statures and chunkiness and build, and so it's cool to see that amount of detail go into it. Let's take a look at the Bebop from the Turtles Classics line, I think it was called by Playmates. What's the date on these? 2013? Yeah. So this is from 2013. God, things move too fast. In one part of my brain and gets deleted in another. I just wanted to line these two up. I did custom paint this one, so I guess I'll take a look at it first. Just a little Just a heavy wash, like the shoes. Pretty different look. That whole line had some interesting looks. I only bought the Bebop and Rocksteady from that line. I also don't have the NECA cartoon turtle or Bebop, so this is the best we can do with lining up. And my original vintage one is also a custom with like a different head on there, so I figured, what's the point of even showing that? So here we are with these two, line these two up, and just the drastic difference between these two is very, very apparent. Also in size. I think in my RAF video I might have compared one of this figure, and they line up all right, but now that I have this one, this is like my favorite Bebop figure ever. It is just so fun. I love it. Very glad to have this guy, and just showing just how big and kind of like monstrous this figure is, which is really awesome. That should be all of it, and that should be everything. I hope you guys enjoy this figure if you got them. If you got the pre-order stuff from Big Bad Toy Store or Super7, hopefully it gets there pretty fast. This was my pre-order from Super7. It got here in pretty timely fashion after I got the email that they said it was on their way, the confirmation email for your address and stuff like that. So hopefully you guys are all getting yours in the mail, because this is a really awesome wave. I think all of them are, to me, this entire wave was a must-have. So that was me. I got them all, so hopefully I can get to all of them in videos. But until next time, guys,